I saw a quote from him yesterday where he stated, we can't expect to be given anything. We got to earn everything that we get. That mindset right there takes people a long ways. And I think when you look at him compared to a lot of young players, not just quarterbacks, young players that come into this league, I watch guys get drafted, put on their little silver medallion, and they stop working. And I will make the comment: it's easy to get drafted, it's hard to stay.
Well,
and people think I'm just talking trash. It's facts. Because if you get drafted, then you automatically assume, I'm in the pros now. You're going to get ran right past.
It's obviously facts. I mean, the average NFL career is like 2.5 years.
Yes.
And that's for a first-round success rate of a second contract is a little less than 50%.
Yes.
And those guys get every advantage in the world. I have like a bunch of reasons why I think he'll actually improve. But I want to let the phone lines weigh in. My guy Steve is in Silver Spring. Steve, which way do you see this going for Jayden in year 2?
Hey, guys. Good morning. How are you?
Good, buddy. We're great. Man.
Good. Thank you. I don't see him regressing at all. I do think that we have a tougher schedule this year because we had a better season last year. I don't know necessarily. B will probably know better than me. If the defenses that we play are better than we played last year, I do know we struggled against Pittsburgh. I do know Dallas had an answer for him last year. So I don't see the regressing, but I do see us having a tougher schedule this year. I just don't know how that coincides with the defenses we played last year versus the defenses, that we're going to play this year. All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah. So it's a good call, dude. I think the Pittsburgh thing, that's probably the best defense they faced, and there was that like 4-week stretch where Jayden was pretty clearly dealing with the rib stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair to point out.
But thing like you do play a tougher schedule, and your record may not be. If they go 11-6 or they go 10-7, is that far away from 12-5? I think what happens when it comes down to the regressing, people only look at the schedule. They don't look at your opponents. They don't look at the strength of schedule. And then they don't even give you a time to look. Like I remember we were talking about Russell Wilson 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I went back and I looked at his. I said, damn, he didn't have a bad season. Because when you just naturally see the team fall off, that blame goes to the quarterback.
Right.
When in essence, it's not the quarterback all the time. So I think that, yes, they have a tougher schedule, but I also believe that this team is better than it was last year. And I think that should make the difference.
I think the schedule, one thing, there's like a common misconception with scheduling. The reason the Commanders have a tougher schedule this year is by and large just because of the rotational divisional play. They just happen to play the NFC North and the AFC West this year.
Uh-huh.
And that's just because they rotate every year. Like they have a second place schedule. The Eagles have the first place schedule. Yeah. And so another thing, just to be clear, the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Commanders, the only place that where you finish in your division, that impacts 3 games out of 17. Mm-hmm. 3 games out of 17. Everything else is just divisional play and the rotational schedule of the NFL. Mm-hmm. So I think that gets overblown. Yes, it's a tougher schedule. I think I have a bunch of reasons to explain. I want to keep letting the callers hit. But
let's remember, some of those teams that played other teams last year, they didn't get a chance to see Jayden Daniels.
Right.
So they maybe have a tougher schedule too.
Right.
So you have to account for him. That's the whole thing. When you go to play against him, you got to account for him.
Nate is in D.C. Nate, which way is he going to go for Jayden?
What up, fellas?
What's up?
I'll say this. I think a lot of people tend to conflate the meaning of a sophomore slump with positive regression. It's actually possible for Jayden to not have the QBR of 100.1 that he had last season, but still go further than he did in his rookie season. And like you guys just said, keep in mind, he went 12-5 while playing a stretch of those 17 games hurt. Like he was injured. And I mean, he had a rookie season like never before. So you really can't just throw him in a box and say, oh, he's going to have a sophomore slump, because obviously he's not your average QB, and they just gave him extra weapons like Debo Samuel, the super speedy Jaden Lane, the low-key quiet signing of KJ Osborne and things like that. Like, he'll be fine.
Yep. See, and I appreciate that call, man. I think what happens so many times is people have such a good season, the haters come out, and that's the wishful thinking of, oh, he's going to have a sophomore slump. Does everybody have one? See, I asked that question when we brought this up a few weeks ago. Did Pat Mahomes have a sophomore slump?
He didn't really start till his second year, but
so
he was
if you want to go after his first year of starting.
Sure.
All right, he started one game his rookie season. He passed for over 300 yards, and they say, okay, good, we're getting rid of this quarterback that we traded for, and we're going to start him next year. And then he stepped in, and he had as good a year that year that he did in that one game he showed the previous year. Then he came back the next second year of the full start, and he was even better than that. So everybody doesn't have a sophomore slump. And sophomore slump doesn't necessarily mean the player dropped off. Your supporting cast may have dropped off. If you give me a guy in his second year and he don't have his top two receivers and he have an offensive line that's in flux and the running game is not good, I expect that guy not to have as good a season.
I agree, man. I think you can't stress enough an improved offensive line.
Yes.
What that should mean. Let's keep this going. My guy Blake is in Wilmington. Blake, which way do you see it going?
Well, JP, I just want to look at this logically. If we go back and started his career at Arizona State, you can look at the one game he had versus Justin Herbert. Okay, he has a good career at Arizona State. Then he goes to LSU, and what's he do 2 years? His second year there, he wins the Heisman. Then he gets drafted second overall, and in his first year in the NFL, he leads this team to a 12-5 record and wins the Rookie of the Year. What body of work has Jayden Daniels given anybody to believe he's going to regress now? Anybody
Great
that thinks
point.
that's crazy, on top of all the Cliff stuff, on top of all the new weapons, what has given anybody a reason to believe Jayden Daniels is going to regress now? He's way too talented and he's way too driven. Thank you for taking my call, guys.
Great call.
That's wishful thinking on the Bamas.
Blake, that's a really good call. And one thing I would point to is generally if a quarterback is volatile, that there's a big swing year to year, it's turnover driven.
Yeah.
And Jayden is not a dude that throws a lot of picks. Last year as a rookie, he threw 9. He threw single digit. Go back to LSU, man. His final year at LSU, on 327 pass attempts, he had 4 interceptions. I mean,
how many touchdowns did he throw that year? 38, was it?
40.
40, and he ran another.
He ran another
Listen, man,
10.
some people just have an innate ability to do things a little different, and I believe he's going to be doing the same thing.
One more call here. Russell is in Graysonville. Russell, which way is he going? Russ, you there, bud? Landini, tell me if
Chris Russell?
Is this Chris Russell?
I don't know.
Shocker, somebody named Russell proved to be unreliable.
I love it.